The sensation of flying atop a dragon defied all description. Wind whipped through Lily's hair as Crystal soared above the clouds. The massive creature moved with impossible grace, cutting through the night sky like a living ship. Her scales shifted, colors with each powerful wing beat reflecting the starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Lily clutched the smooth ridges along Crystal's spine. Her mind struggled to process everything that had happened in the past few hours. Valeria sat in front of her, seemingly unbothered by their altitude or speed. Her midnight hair streamed behind her, occasionally brushing against Lily's face. "Where are we going?" Lily shouted over the wind. Valeria turned her head slightly to someone who can help us, someone who will believe you when you tell them what is coming. The dragon banked suddenly heading east. Lily saw city lights appear below them. Though they flew low enough to be visible from the ground, no aircraft intercepted them. No alarm sounded. "They can see us," Lily realized. "Why is no one responding?" "They cannot see us." Valeria answered as if reading her thoughts. "Crystal exists between dimensions. Only those we choose can perceive her. Or me." She smiled. "That is how I watched you for so long without detection." The dragon descended toward a military complex Lily recognized immediately. Fort Mason. The headquarters of the Interstellar Defense Command, her former base. Crystal landed with surprising softness on the roof of the main building, her massive form somehow avoiding detection by the base's sensors. "Your commanding officer is here," Valeria said, dismounting with fluid grace. "Captain Samantha Martinez. She was with you when you were rescued. She suspects the truth, though. She does not know it fully." "How do you know that?" Lily asked, sliding down from the dragon's back. "The Elserai have ways of knowing," Valeria responded cryptically. She gestured toward a roof access door. It opened silently, though no one had touched it. "We must hurry. The void draws closer with each passing moment." Lily hesitated, staring at the open door. "I could be court-martialed for this unauthorized entry, bringing unknown entities onto a military base." Valeria fixed her with those unsettling violet eyes. "Your planet faces extinction. Commander Hayes' military protocol seems rather insignificant in comparison." Lily knew she was right. With a deep breath, she stepped through the doorway. They moved through the darkened corridors of the base with eerie silence. Valeria seemed to know exactly where they were going. No security personnel crossed their path. No alarms triggered. Eventually, they reached a door labeled Captain S. Martinez. Quarters. Valeria nodded toward the door. "You must speak to her alone. She will not trust me initially." Lily raised her hand to knock, then hesitated. "What do I tell her?" "The truth," Valeria said simply. "Then bring her to the roof to meet us." She stepped back into the shadows, seemingly disappearing, though Lily knew she was still there. With a deep breath, Lily knocked on the door. A moment passed before the door opened, revealing Captain Samantha Martinez. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun, her brown eyes widening in surprise at the sight of her visitor. "Hayes," the captain exclaimed. "What are you doing here?" "You're supposed to be on medical leave, Captain." Lily began. "We need to talk. It's about the attack on my squad. I know what those things were, and they're coming back." Something in Lily's expression must have conveyed the urgency of the situation. Martinez stepped aside, allowing her to enter the quarters. Once inside, Lily told her everything about Valeria, about the Elserai, about the Void Collective, about humans being engineered with dormant abilities. Martinez listened without interruption, her expression growing more serious with each passing minute. When Lily finished, the captain remained silent for a long moment. "You believe all this?" "Hayes," she finally asked. "I saw a dragon on my front lawn," Lily replied, "and watched an elf woman create energy from nothing. So yes, I'm starting to believe it." Martinez moved to her desk, opening a secure drawer. She removed a small device and activated it. The room's lights dimmed slightly as a privacy field engaged. "What I'm about to tell you is classified beyond your clearance level," Martinez said. "But given what you've just told me," she paused. "After your rescue, we found anomalies in your blood work, cellular structures that didn't match human baseline. Something was changing in you. We monitored but kept it quiet. Lily felt a chill run through her. So you knew. Not everything. Martinez clarified. Not nearly what you've just told me, but enough to know something wasn't right. The higher-ups wanted to quarantine. You run tests. I convinced them to let you recover first. She leaned forward. There have been other incidents, reports of crystalline entities appearing at remote outposts, always targeting specific personnel, always people with genetic markers similar to yours. Lily's heart raced. You believe me? I believe something is happening, Martinez said, and I believe those things that killed your squad are a threat. She stood up. Where is this Valeria now? On the roof. With Crystal, Martinez grabbed her sidearm, tucking it into her holster. Then take me to them. The journey back to the roof was tense. Martinez radioed ahead, disabling security protocols for the route they would take using her command codes. When they finally emerged onto the roof, Crystal lay curled around the perimeter, her massive form somehow fitting the space perfectly. Valeria stood beside her, stroking the dragon's neck. Captain Martinez froze at the sight, her hand instinctively moving to her weapon. My God, Valeria stepped forward. Captain Martinez, she greeted. Thank you for believing Commander Hayes' time is short. We need your help. Martinez kept her composure admirably despite facing a creature from legend and a being from another world. What exactly do you need from me? Access to your communications network. Valeria replied, we must warn others, prepare them, and we need a secure location to begin the awakening process. For Commander Hayes, Martinez frowned. Awakening process. The activation of her dormant abilities, Valeria explained. As I told Lily, humans were engineered by my people long ago. Certain genetic sequences were programmed to remain dormant until needed. The Void Collective knows this. They have been hunting those with the strongest markers. Your species calls them star children. Those, born with unusual abilities, psychic sensitivity, heightened awareness. Martinez looked at Lily. Is that what you are? A star child? I don't know. Lily admitted, I've never shown any unusual abilities. Not yet, Valeria corrected. But the potential is there, stronger, in you than in most. She approached Martinez. We do not ask for blind trust, Captain, but we do ask for cooperation. The Void Fleet approaches. Your conventional weapons cannot stop them. Martinez considered this for a long moment. What proof can you offer besides your presence? Valeria smiled sadly, turning toward the night sky. She raised her hand and whispered something in that strange musical language. The stars above them seemed to shift, revealing what had been hidden. A massive crystalline structure hung in orbit, distant but visible. That is a Void Scout ship, Valeria said. It arrived 12 hours ago. Cloaked from your detection systems, it is scanning for star children, mapping your defenses. She lowered her hand, and the ship vanished. From view, there will be more soon. A fleet beyond counting, Martinez paled. How did you do that? The Elserai can perceive what others cannot. Valeria explained, and we can share that perception temporarily. She turned to Lily. It is time we must begin your awakening. The scout has surely detected your presence by now. What does this awakening involve exactly? Lily asked, pain. Valeria answered honestly. The dormant genes must be stimulated, activated, forced to express themselves. Your body will resist the change. Your mind will fight it. But if you survive, you will become something more than human. Something capable of fighting the void. Martinez stepped forward. Whatever you're planning to do to her, it happens under my supervision. In a secure facility, with medical support. Valeria nodded. That is acceptable. The process requires certain preparations anyway. She turned to Crystal, speaking in that strange language. The dragon rose, stretching her massive wings. Crystal will patrol, Valeria explained. She can detect void incursions before they manifest. She touched Lily's arm. When you are ready, we will begin. 2 hours later, They had secured a section of the base's medical facility. Martinez had brought in only her most trusted personnel doctor, Natalie, King and Security Chief Patricia Winters. Both women had reacted with appropriate shock upon seeing Valeria, but had quickly adjusted to the situation. Lily lay on an examination table, various monitoring devices attached to her body. Valeria stood, beside her mixing strange luminescent liquids in a bowl of what appeared to be crystal. "What is that?" Lily asked, watching the colors swirl together. "An accelerant." Valeria replied, "The awakening would happen naturally over time, as your genes respond to the void presence. But we do not have time." She looked up at Lily. "This will hurt. More than anything you have experienced, I cannot change that." Lily swallowed hard, nodding. "I'm ready." Dr. King approached, checking Lily's vital signs one last time. "Her body temperature is already elevated," she noted, "and her neural activity is off the charts." She looked at Valeria with concern. "Will this kill her?" "It might," Valeria admitted. "But without the awakening, the void will kill everyone." The doctor stepped back reluctantly. Valeria held up the bowl, now filled with a silvery liquid that seemed to move with a life of its own. "This contains the essence of Elserai power. It will find the dormant genes and force them awake." Lily took a deep breath. "Do it, Valeria," began to sing, her voice creating harmonics that seemed impossible for a single being to produce. The liquid in the bowl rose, defying gravity, forming a sphere that hovered between her hands. She placed her. The cold mountain air bit at Lily Hayes' skin as she stepped out of the transport vehicle. Her shoulders felt heavy even without the weight of her combat armor. For 5 long years she had commanded a squad through the darkest reaches of space, but now she stood alone at the foot of her old cabin in the Appalachian Mountains. The wooden structure stood unchanged by time, a stark contrast to the woman who approached it. Lily ran her hand through her short brown hair, now streaked with premature gray. Her green eyes scanned the tree line out of habit, always watching, always alert. She could never turn off the soldier inside her. Even now, Lily pulled her duffel bag from the vehicle and nodded at the driver. The transport hummed as it rose and disappeared beyond the tree line, leaving her truly alone for the first time since the mission. She breathed in the scent of pine and soil so different from the recycled air of the starship. Inside, the cabin dust covered every surface. The automated systems had maintained temperature and structural integrity but could not prevent the passage of time. Lily dropped her bag by the door and moved to the fireplace. A real fire was a luxury in space, but here she could indulge. She gathered wood from the stack outside and soon flames danced, casting shadows across the room. Sleep did not come easy that first night. Images of her squad, their faces frozen in expressions of horror as the crystalline creatures tore through the hull of their ship. Lily woke several times, drenched in sweat, reaching for a weapon that wasn't there. By morning, she felt more exhausted than before she slept. The next day passed in a haze of routine. Lily cleaned the cabin, restocked supplies from storage, and tried to remember how to exist without the constant threat of attack. By the second night, she managed 3 consecutive hours of sleep. Progress, small but measurable. On the third night, everything changed. The temperature in the room dropped, suddenly pulling Lily from her fitful sleep. Her military training kicked in instantly, her muscles tensed, ready for action. Eyes scanning the darkness of her bedroom, her hand slid beneath her pillow, wrapping around the handle of her personal sidearm. A soft blue glow emanated from the foot of her bed. Lily blinked, trying to adjust her vision. The silhouette of a woman stood there motionless. Lily aimed her weapon at the intruder. "Do not be afraid." The voice flowed like music, strange yet beautiful. Lily kept her weapon steady. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" The figure stepped forward into a shaft of moonlight from the window, revealing herself fully. Lily almost dropped her weapon in shock. The woman, if she could be called that, stood tall and elegant. Her skin held a faint luminescence like moonlight captured in flesh. Hair the color of midnight cascaded down her back, contrasting with her pale complexion. But most striking were her features, sharp, angular, with eyes of deepest violet that seemed to glow from within. And her ears, they tapered to delicate points, have been watching you for years, she said, leaving Lily in astonishment. Lily kept her weapon raised, though her hands had begun to shake. You have 5 seconds to explain before I shoot. The woman smiled, revealing teeth too perfect to be human. My name is Valeria. I am not from your world, as you have surely noticed. She gestured to her inhuman features. Lily swallowed hard. What do you want? To save your species, Valeria replied simply. A sound from outside drew Lily's attention. Something large moved past the window, a massive shadow blocking the moonlight momentarily. Scales gleamed in the darkness. A flash of wings. Lily returned her gaze to Valeria, heart pounding. What was that? That is Crystal, Valeria said. My companion. She is eager to meet you, companion. Lily repeated. The thing outside was enormous. Valeria moved to the window, her movements fluid and graceful. We have watched humanity for centuries. Your species interests us. Your resilience, your determination, your capacity for both destruction and creation. She turned back to face Lily. We have waited for the right human, the right warrior, and we believe you are the one. Lily slowly lowered her weapon, though she kept it in her grip. You still haven't told me what you want. The creatures that attacked your squad, Valeria said. They are called the Void Collective. They are ancient enemies of my people, and they are coming for Earth in force. The mention of her squad sent a chill down Lily's spine. How do you know about that? The mission details were classified. We have ways of observing, Valeria replied vaguely. She approached the bed, moving with inhuman grace. We need your help. Commander Hayes, your genetic makeup is special, even among humans. You were engineered to be engineered. Lily interrupted. What are you talking about? Valeria sighed. Her violet eyes softened. There is much to explain. The short version is that my people, the Elseri, created humans long ago. You were designed with certain dormant abilities. Abilities that, when activated, could help defeat the Void. Lily shook her head. This is insane. You expect me to believe in some kind of alien experiment? Valeria extended her hand, palm up. A small sphere of blue energy formed, hovering above her skin. Is this so hard to believe after all you have seen in space? The creatures that killed your friends were only scouts. The main force approaches, the sphere expanded, images forming within it. Lily recognized the crystalline structures of the aliens that had attacked her ship. She saw more of them, thousands forming a massive fleet moving through the darkness of space toward a familiar blue planet. If you do not help us, Valeria said, all will be lost. Your world will fall, and we will lose our best weapon against the darkness. Lily stared at the images, her mind racing. She thought of her fallen comrades, of the horror in their eyes, as the creatures tore through them. If what this strange woman said was true, more would die, millions more. What exactly do you need me to do? Lily asked finally. Valeria closed her hand, the sphere of energy disappearing. First, you must meet Crystal. Then we begin your awakening. Awakening. The dormant abilities within your genetic code. Valeria explained they must be activated. It will not be pleasant, but it is necessary. Lily stood up slowly, her weapon still in hand. I need proof, not just light shows and mind games. If what you're saying is true, if Earth really is in danger, I need to see it for myself. Valeria nodded. Come outside then. She moved to the door, her feet making no sound on the wooden floor. Meet my companion. See what your human eyes refuse to believe. Against her better judgment. Lily followed, keeping distance between them. The night air was cold against her skin as she stepped onto the porch. Her eyes struggled to adjust to the darkness, but she could make out a massive shape in the clearing. Before her cabin, Valeria whispered something in a language Lily had never heard. The sound of it made her skin tingle. The massive shape moved, and then the moonlight revealed what waited in the darkness. Crystal was not just large, she was enormous. A dragon in every sense of human mythology, but somehow more scales that shifted colors with each movement, reflecting blues and purples against the night wings folded against her sides, stretched wider than Lily's cabin when partially extended, and her eyes, intelligent, aware, focused directly on Lily. The dragon lowered, her massive head bringing it level with the porch. Her nostrils flared as she scented the air around Lily. "She has crossed the stars to find you," Valeria said, placing her hand on the dragon's scales. "She knows your scent from the battlefield where your squad fell. She pulled you from the wreckage, though you do not remember." Lily stepped back, memories flooding back. The attack, the screams of her squad, the hull breach, and then nothing until she woke in a medical bay on the rescue ship. They told her she had been found in an escape pod, but now I was never in an escape pod. Lily whispered. "No," Valeria confirmed. "You were saved for a purpose. The void fears what you could become, what all humans could become with the right awakening. They targeted your ship specifically. They sensed the potential in you, the dragon." Crystal made a sound deep and resonant. Lily felt it in her chest more than heard it with her ears. "She says you are brave," Valeria translated, "but also afraid fear is natural. But it will hold you back." Lily looked between the strange elf woman and the impossible dragon. The world she thought she knew was unraveling before her eyes. Yet somehow it made sense. The strange dreams she had been having since the attack. The way she had healed too quickly from her injuries. The voices she sometimes heard at the edge of her consciousness. "If I help you," Lily said slowly, "what happens to Earth?" "What happens to me?" Valeria stepped closer. Her violet eyes seemed to peer into Lily's soul. "If you help us, humanity will have a fighting chance. Without you, they have none. As for what happens to you," she paused, "that depends on how well you survive the awakening." Crystal made another sound, this one almost like laughter. Valeria smiled. "The choice is yours, Commander Hayes, but know this. The Void Fleet approaches whether you believe me or not. They will be here within days, not weeks. Your military is not prepared. Your weapons are insufficient. Only the ancient powers we can unlock within. You offer any hope?" Lily looked up at the stars visible through breaks in the clouds. Somewhere out there her enemies were coming. The same creatures that had torn apart her friends, now threatening her entire planet. "What do I need to do?" she asked Valeria, extended her hand palm up again. This time with no energy sphere, just an offer. Crystal lowered her massive body to the ground, creating a space on her back where scales flattened to form. "A seat first. We fly," Valeria said. "Then we awaken what sleeps inside you." Lily hesitated for only a moment. Then she took Valeria's hand, feeling a strange energy pass between them. She allowed herself to be guided toward the dragon, toward a destiny she never imagined but summy. The sky above Fort Mason erupted with light as the first void ships entered the lower atmosphere. Their crystalline structures refracted the moonlight, casting prismatic patterns across the ground below. Each vessel resembled a massive geometric shape, angular and perfect in its symmetry. Dozens appeared, then hundreds, forming a constellation of alien architecture above the military base. Inside the medical facility, Lily felt the approach of the enemy like ice spreading through her veins. Her newly awakened senses detected their presence, their hunger, their single-minded purpose. She looked at Valeria, who stood by the window, her violet eyes tracking the ships. "They want me," she said softly. "They can feel what I've become." "Not just you," Valeria corrected. "They want all humans with the dormant genes. They seek to eliminate the threat before more awaken." She turned to face the others in the room. "Captain Martinez, we need to evacuate this facility immediately. The first attack will target this location specifically." Martinez was already coordinating with Security Chief Winters, issuing rapid commands through her communication device. "Evacuation protocols are active," she reported. "We're moving all personnel to the underground bunkers." "That will not be sufficient," Valeria warned. "The void can phase through solid matter when necessary. Their weapons disintegrate molecular bonds. They will reach anyone they target, regardless of physical barriers." What do you suggest? Then, Martinez asked, her voice tight with tension. We must draw them away from this place, Valeria said. Away from population centers. Lily and I will take Crystal and lead them to a more defensible location. The void will follow us. Sensing Lily's awakened, State Dr. King stepped forward, but she's not fully recovered. The transformation process isn't complete. It will continue regardless. Valeria replied, the genes are activated now. They will express themselves whether we guide the process or not. She moved to Lily, placing a hand on her shoulder. Can you feel your new abilities forming? Lily nodded. She could sense something building within her like pressure behind a dam. Energy coursed through her body, concentrated in her mind and hands. When she focused, she could hear the thoughts of everyone in the room, flickering impressions and emotions rather than clear words. What's happening to me? She asked. Your telepathic abilities are manifesting, Valeria explained. The first stage of awakening always enhances mental capacities. The physical changes will follow. She looked at Martinez. We need weapons. Whatever you can provide us with. Martinez hesitated only briefly before nodding to Winters. Get them access to the armory. All experimental prototypes included. Authorization. Code Martinez 7. Alpha Niner Winters hurried from the room to carry out the order. Outside, the crystalline ships had begun to arrange themselves in a precise formation. A massive circle with smaller formations inside, creating a geometric pattern, recognizable from above as a spiral. They are preparing a containment field. Valeria explained. We must leave now before they complete the pattern. Once established, it will prevent dimensional travel. Crystal will be trapped, as if summoned by her name. The dragon appeared at the window, her massive head peering in her scales, now a deep red color, signaling alarm. Valeria spoke to her in that strange musical language, receiving a rumbling response. She says more ships approach. Valeria. Translated, A. Second wave larger than the first. She looked at Lily. The time for preparation is over. We must act now. Martinez interrupted one last question. If what you're saying is true, why haven't these void creatures attacked before now? Why wait until Lily awakened? Valeria. Expression darkened. They have been attacking for centuries. Captain, what do you think causes stars to die suddenly? What creates the anomalies? Your scientists cannot explain. The void consumes entire systems, leaving nothing behind. They have been working their way toward Earth systematically. Your outer colonies have already fallen, you simply do not know it yet. She turned back to Lily. Are you ready? Lily nodded, though fear gripped her heart. This was beyond anything she had trained for. Beyond the scope of human warfare. She looked at Martinez. We need to warn the world governments, she said. The planetary defense systems need to be activated. Already done. Martinez assured her. As soon as we confirmed the alien presence, I sent the emergency codes. Earth is mobilizing. But she hesitated. They don't know what they're facing. None of us truly do, Valeria said softly. Even I have only encountered the void in ancient battles. Never on this scale. She reached out, taking Lily's hand. We must go now. Teach her what she needs to know while I gather what supplies we require. Winters returned with several guards, each carrying cases of weapons. She nodded to Martinez. Armory accessed, Captain. We have the prototype energy weapons, the phase disruptors, and the experimental shield generators. Martinez supervised as the cases were opened, revealing weapons unlike any Lily had seen before during her military service. These were developed based on artifacts we recovered from the Outer Rim, she explained. Technology we didn't fully understand until now. She lifted a sleek rifle-like weapon, its power source pulsed with blue energy. This is the XE5 phase disruptor. It targets molecular bonds, should be effective against crystalline structures. Valeria examined the weapon with interest. Your scientists are more advanced than we realized, she commented. She selected several weapons, placing them in a carry pack. She turned to Lily. Take only what you can use. The dragon can carry more, but we must travel. Light. Lily selected a compact sidearm and one of the rifle-like weapons, slinging the latter across her back. The weight felt reassuring familiar. She was a soldier again with a mission and a purpose. A tremendous boom shook the building. Plaster fell from the ceiling as the lights flickered. First contact, Martinez reported, checking her communicator. Our defense systems are engaging the void ships. She looked grim. Minimal effect so far. We need to move, Valeria urged. No more time for preparation. Lily turned to Martinez, taking a moment to grasp her former commander's shoulder. Stay safe, she said. Keep everyone alive until we return. Martinez nodded grimly. Do what you need to do, Hayes. Buy us time to find a way to fight these things. Dr. King approached, quickly handing Lily a small case. This contains medical supplies and stimulants, she explained, and monitoring devices so I can track your transformation remotely. She hesitated, then added, Be careful. The changes happening in your body, they aren't natural. They're accelerating beyond anything I've ever seen. Thank you, Lily said, taking the case. She felt a strange calm settling over her. The fear remained, but beneath it was something stronger, a sense of purpose that transcended her training. Valeria led the way through the facility to a landing pad on the west side. The building shook continuously now as weapons fire exchanged between Earth defenses and the void ships. Outside, Crystal waited, her massive form crouched low, her wings half extended. The dragon had expanded somehow, growing larger than before. Her scales shifted between deep red and burnished gold as she prepared for battle. Void energy signatures detected from all directions, Martinez reported through the communication system. They're surrounding the base. Perfect, Valeria said with grim satisfaction. That means all their attention is focused here. She turned to Lily. The moment we take flight, they will pursue us. That is our goal, to draw them away from population centers, while you complete your transformation. What about other star children? Lily asked. What happens to them if the void realizes what they are? Your government must protect them, Valeria replied. Many are already hidden, sheltered by instinct or design. The Elzerai have guided certain humans over generations, creating safe havens, but we cannot save everyone, not yet. She mounted the dragon with graceful ease, extending her hand to help Lily up. Once seated on Crystal's back, Lily felt a strange connection form between herself, the dragon, and Valeria. A mental link allowing impressions and emotions to flow freely among them. She could sense Crystal's determination, her ancient intelligence, her fierce protective instinct toward both her riders. Crystal speaks to you, Valeria noted. Do you hear her? Lily concentrated, feeling the dragon's presence in her mind. Not words exactly, but intentions, emotions, images. A series of mental pictures showed their planned route away from the base, toward mountains. In the distance I can sense her, Lily confirmed. But not clearly, not like you can. That will improve with time, Valeria assured her. The mental pathways are still forming in your mind. She secured the weapons and supplies, then wrapped an arm around Lily's waist. Hold tight, she warned. The first flight into battle is always disorienting. Crystal tensed her massive muscles, coiling beneath them. Then with explosive force she launched into the air. Her wings spread wide, catching the night air as she soared upward. The sudden acceleration pressed Lily back against Valeria, but the sensation was exhilarating rather than frightening. She felt more alive than ever before, as if her awakening had connected her not just to her new abilities, but to the world itself in ways she had never imagined. The dragon climbed rapidly, spiraling upward toward the crystalline ships. The void vessels immediately reacted, breaking their formation as they detected the ascending threat. Beams of pale energy lanced through the air around them as Crystal dodged and weaved with impossible agility. Valeria shouted something in her musical language, and Crystal responded with a roar that shook the air around them. The dragon opened her jaws, releasing a stream of blue fire, unlike anything Lily had ever seen. The flame struck one of the void ships, causing the crystalline structure to crack and shatter. Fragments rained down harmlessly, dissolving before the dawn broke over the mountain summit, casting golden light across the ancient stone circle. Lily sat cross-legged at its center, her eyes closed, her mind extending outward through the network of awakened star children. 3 days had passed since the initial battle, 3 days of preparation as the world government struggled to comprehend the scale of the threat facing them. Valeria stood nearby, watching Lily with a mixture of pride and concern. The elf woman had spent those days guiding Lily through the final stages of her transformation, teaching her to control her newly awakened abilities. "How many can you feel now?" Valeria asked. Lily opened her eyes, which now held a permanent hint of blue fire. 78, she replied. Scattered.
Across the globe, most don't understand what's happening to them. They think they're going mad. She sighed, running a hand through her hair, now streaked with luminescent strands that glowed faintly in the shadows. I need to reach them. Help them understand. Crystal
lay curled around the perimeter of the stone circle, her massive form serving as both guardian and amplifier. The dragon enhanced Lily's telepathic range, allowing her to touch minds across vast distances. Valeria nodded. Dr. King reports that your government has identified over 300 potential star children based on the genetic markers we provided. They are gathering them at secure locations. Lily stood stretching muscles that felt both familiar and strange. Her body had changed, becoming stronger, more resilient with enhanced reflexes and senses. She could see energy patterns, now could perceive the flow of power through living things. Martinez has been coordinating with world leaders, she said, picking up information through her connection with the captain. The planetary defense systems are being recalibrated based on what we learned from the first attack. But she frowned. It won't be enough. Not against the main fleet. The void approaches. Crystal communicated, her mental voice rumbling. Through their connected minds, I feel their cold presence growing stronger. They gather beyond your moon, preparing. Lily walked to the edge of the stone circle, looking up at the clear morning sky. The peaceful scene belied the existential threat looming. Above them, she turned to Valeria. We need to take more direct action. We can't just wait for them to attack. What do you suggest? Valeria asked, though her expression suggested she already knew Lily's answer. We take the fight to them, Lily replied. Strike. Before they fully assemble their forces, Crystal can phase between dimensions. She can carry us to orbit. Valeria considered this. The risk is substantial. Crystal cannot carry many, and even with your awakened abilities, the Void Fleet outnumbers us, thousands to one. I know, Lily admitted. But we have something they don't, humanity. She smiled slightly. The Star Children are connecting, forming bonds across the network. Their unique perspectives, their individual talents are combining in ways, even, you didn't anticipate. Some can manipulate energy. Others can perceive across vast distances. Some can even alter probability itself. Valeria raised an eyebrow. You have been busy. While you thought I was meditating, I was building the network, Lily explained. The Star Children learn from each other, sharing knowledge, accelerating their awakening. They share a common purpose: to defend Earth. She approached Valeria, placing a hand on the elf woman's arm. We were created as weapons, but we've become something, more something. Even the Elserai didn't expect. Valeria studied her for a long moment, her violet eyes seeing beyond the physical. We created humanity, yes. But perhaps we underestimated what you would become. She nodded slowly. Very well. We will take the battle to the void, but not alone. She turned to Crystal, speaking in that musical language. The dragon raised her massive head, listening. Then she responded with a series of rumbling sounds that vibrated the very air around them. What did you tell her? Lily asked. I asked her to call her kin. Valeria replied. Crystal is not the only dragon in existence, merely the one who chose to watch over you. There are others, not many. They are ancient and rare, but they exist, and each is bonded to an Elserai. Lily felt a surge of hope. More like you. More dragons, Valeria smiled. Perhaps a dozen in total, scattered across dimensions. But yes, they will come. She looked up at the sky. They will meet us in orbit. A telepathic summons reached Lily, suddenly and urgent. Communication from Captain Martinez. The captain had established a rudimentary connection to the star network, allowing limited communication. Lily void ships approaching. Not the main fleet. A smaller group, but moving fast. ETA, 20 minutes. Valeria received the message through her link with Lily. They test our defenses again, she said. Probing for weaknesses, we need to intercept them. Lily decided. We can't let them reach. Earth Crystal stood stretching her massive wings. The dragon had grown even, larger over the past 3 days, her scales now shifting through colors more rapidly reflecting her heightened battle readiness. I have called the others, Crystal communicated they come, but not in time for this battle. We 3 must face this threat. Alone Lily moved with newfound grace, gathering the weapons they had brought from the military base. The phase disruptors had been modified by the Star Network engineers, enhanced with Elseri knowledge to better target void weaknesses. Valeria prepared, herself as well, donning armor that seemed to form directly from the air around her. Plates of crystalline material that glowed with internal light covered her vital areas while leaving her limbs free for movement. Lily reached out, mentally connecting. With the awakening star children across the globe, I need your strength. She communicated. Your power, your perception. Help us see, help us fight. The response was immediate. Dozens of minds linking with hers, sharing their awakened abilities, their unique perspectives. Lily felt her consciousness expand as the network focused through her. Their combined power flowing into her like water seeking the lowest point. Valeria watched with fascination. This connection you have created, it is unlike anything the Elseri foresaw. When we designed humans for battle, we expected individual warriors, not a collective consciousness, not collective. Lily corrected as she mounted. Crystal unified but distinct. Each mind remains individual, each perspective unique. That's our strength. Our adaptability. Valeria climbed onto the dragon's back behind Lily, securing herself with practiced ease. You continue to surprise me. Commander Hayes. Perhaps humanity will survive this war after all. Crystal launched into the air, her powerful wings carrying them upward at tremendous speed. The dragon circled once above the stone circle, gathering energy from the nexus point. Then with a thunderous roar, she accelerated faster than should have been physically possible. The air around them shimmered as Crystal began to phase between dimensions. The sensation was disorienting even for Lily. With her enhanced perception, the world seemed to fold around them, colors shifting into spectrum she had never seen before. Time itself appeared to stretch and compress simultaneously. Her body felt both heavy and weightless as they passed between realities. Through it all, Lily maintained her connection to the Star Network, their combined consciousness anchoring her, preventing her mind from being lost in the dimensional transition. She could sense other star children experiencing the journey through her perception, their excitement and fear mingling with her own. Then suddenly, they emerged into the cold vacuum of space. The transition should have killed them instantly. Yet Lily found she could breathe normally, could feel neither the freezing cold nor the absence of pressure. Crystal had created a bubble of reality around them, preserving Earth conditions within. A small envelope. Valeria noticed Lily's surprise. The dragon's oldest magic, she explained. They exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, creating pockets where the rules of one reality apply. Despite being physically in another, before them hung the Earth, beautiful and fragile, a blue jewel in the blackness. The sight filled Lily with renewed determination. This was what they fought for. This was what they must protect. Beyond the planet, approaching from the darkness of space, came the void ships, a formation of crystalline vessels moving with perfect coordination. Their structures gleamed in the sunlight, beautiful and terrible, a vanguard force as Martinez had warned. Perhaps 50 ships in total. They have not detected us yet, Valeria observed. We remain partially phased. Outside their perception, Crystal rumbled her agreement, positioning herself in the path of the approaching fleet. Her massive form now seemed even larger in the vacuum of space, scales shifting through colors that seemed to bend light around them. Lily extended her senses through the Star Network, dozens of awakened minds joining with hers, scanning the void ships, analyzing their formation, seeking weaknesses. The collective intelligence of the network processing information far faster than any individual could. Their Lily identified, pointing toward the lead ship. It's different from the others, larger, more complex. She could perceive energy patterns within it, distinct from the surrounding vessels. The controlling node, she realized. They operate as a coordinated system. That ship directs the others. Valeria nodded approvingly. You see clearly now, the void functions as a hive consciousness, local groups controlled by node ships. Take out the node, and the others become. Disorganized. Lily finished. She readied her phase, disruptor rifle modified now to channel her own energy through its mechanisms. Then she hesitated. This seems too easy. Why send such a small force after the defeat of the first attack a trap? Crystal, rumbled her mental voice tense. They expect us. The star network flared with warning as the void fleet suddenly altered course, the crystalline ship splitting into smaller groups executing. Lily awoke to find herself lying on a bed of moss beneath an ancient oak tree. The air around her hummed with energy, a sensation she had come to associate with places where reality grew thin. Sunlight filtered through the dense canopy, casting dappled patterns across her body. She sat up slowly, her enhanced senses immediately cataloging her surroundings. This was not the mountain summit where they had established their base. This forest was older, deeper somehow, more primal. The trees themselves seemed to pulse with awareness, their roots intertwining beneath the soil, creating networks that reminded her of the star children. Consciousness she had helped forge. You returned to us. Valeria's voice came from nearby. The elf woman sat cross-legged, beside a small stream, her violet eyes reflecting the moving water. We feared we had lost you. How long? Lily asked, her voice rough from disuse. 7 days, Valeria replied. Your body needed time to recover after channeling such power. The strain nearly destroyed you. She gestured to their surroundings. This is the Heart Forest, a sacred place to the Elserai. It exists simultaneously in multiple dimensions, making it ideal for recovery and concealment. Lily stood testing her limbs. They felt stronger than before, more responsive, the awakening process continuing despite her injuries or perhaps because of them. Where is Crystal? Is she healing? Valeria assured her. The dragon suffered greatly in the battle, but she is resilient. Her kind recover quickly, especially here in the Heart Forest. She will join us soon. Lily extended her senses, reaching for the star network. The connection remained, though more distant in this place. She could feel the other awakened humans, their minds touching hers across the dimensional barriers. Their numbers had grown nearly 300 now, each developing unique abilities as their dormant genes expressed themselves. The Void Fleet. Lily asked, gathering. Valeria said grimly. The attack we thwarted was significant, but merely a fraction of their true force. They assemble beyond your solar system, preparing for a coordinated assault. She stood moving with that inhuman grace that still fascinated Lily. But we have gained something precious. Time. Your governments have been mobilizing. Your star children are awakening faster than expected. And she smiled. The Elserai have answered our call. As if summoned by her words, the air shimmered nearby. A tall figure stepped through what appeared to be a fold in reality. An Elserai male, his features similar to Valeria's, though more angular, more severe. His eyes were gold rather than violet, his hair silver-white cascading down his back. He wore armor that seemed to be made of living metal, shifting and flowing with his movements. This is Alaric, Valeria introduced him. My brother and leader of the Elserai War Council. Alaric inclined his head slightly, studying Lily with those golden eyes. So this is the human catalyst, he said, his voice musical, yet somehow deeper than Valeria's, the one who unified the Star Children. The prototype that exceeded all expectations. I am Commander Lily Hayes, Lily replied, meeting his gaze without hesitation. I did what was necessary to protect my world. Alaric smiled, revealing teeth. Too perfect to be human. You did more than that, Commander. You created something unprecedented, a network of awakened minds working in concert. You accelerated the evolution we had planned for millennia and compressed it into days. He gestured, and a three-dimensional image appeared in the air between them. a map of the known universe with points of light representing star systems. Some glowed blue, others red. A visualization of the war between Elserai and Void that had raged across millennia. For eons we have fought the Void, Alaric explained. They consume reality itself, reducing order to entropy. Countless civilizations have fallen, countless species extinguished. The Elserai have stood against them, but our numbers dwindle. We are an ancient race, slow to reproduce, slow to adapt. And so you created humans, Lily said, understanding dawning. As weapons, adaptable, numerous with short generations. Valeria nodded. We seeded Earth with genetic potential, dormant abilities that would express themselves. When needed, we guided your evolution, subtly watched as you developed. We did not expect such independence, such creativity. The star network you created was never part of our design. Alaric moved his hand, and the image shifted, focusing on Earth, the planet now surrounded by points of blue light representing awakened star children, their network visible as lines of energy connecting them across the globe. The Void fears what you have become, he said. They sense the threat you pose, not just to this incursion but to their existence. That is why they gather in such numbers. How many? Lily asked. Thousands, Alaric replied. Perhaps tens of thousands, a force not seen in this galaxy for millions of years. They intend to end the threat once and for all. Lily absorbed this information, feeling both dread and determination through the star network. The other awakened humans, sensing her emotions, responding with their own. Surprisingly, fear was minimal. Humanity faced extinction, yet these transformed. Humans remained focused, resolute. They will fail, Lily stated with certainty. Alaric raised an eyebrow. Your confidence is admirable, Commander, but perhaps misplaced. The Void Collective approaching Earth represents the largest concentration of their kind in eons. Even with the Elserai dragons and star children combined, we are outnumbered. Numbers aren't everything, Lily replied. The star network gives us advantages they cannot counter. Adaptability, creativity, individual initiative combined with collective coordination. She approached the holographic display, studying the Void fleet movements. We don't need to match them ship for ship. We need to exploit their weaknesses. What weaknesses? Alaric asked. They adapt quickly, learning from each encounter. Their hive mind processes information faster than any individual consciousness, but not faster than the star network, Lily countered. Especially not now. She reached out mentally, connecting deeply with the awakened humans across dimensions, feeling their unique perspectives, their individual strengths. The network had evolved during her recovery, becoming more structured, more efficient. Information flowed freely, thoughts and strategies building upon each other, creating solutions no single mind could devise through the network. Lily sensed someone approaching, a familiar presence that filled her with relief. Crystal emerged from between the ancient trees, her massive form somehow navigating the dense forest without disturbing a single branch. The dragon had recovered from her injuries, her scales now gleaming with renewed vigor, shifting through colors that seemed more vibrant than before. She was accompanied by other dragons, smaller than Crystal but no less impressive. Each bonded to an Elserai warrior, each radiating power and ancient intelligence. The dragons have gathered. Valeria said, a sight not seen since the Great War, 1,000 years ago. 12 in total, the last of their kind. Lily approached Crystal, placing her hand on the dragon's scales, feeling the connection between them strengthen. The mighty creature lowered her head, bringing one giant eye level with Lily's. You have changed, little one, Crystal communicated, her mental voice stronger, clearer than before. Your power grows. Your understanding deepens, as does yours. Lily replied, noting subtle changes in the dragon's form. The scales seemed to phase slightly between dimensions, even at rest. The eyes held new depths of awareness, new connections to realities. Beyond normal perception, their bond had transformed them. Both Alaric watched their interaction with interest. The bond between human and dragon, he observed. It grows stronger than anticipated. Another unexpected development. Valeria joined them, placing Her hand alongside Lily's on Crystal's scales the Trinity. As the ancient text described, she said, "Human Elseri dragon united against the darkness." A telepathic summons reached Lily, suddenly urgent and focused. Captain Martinez connecting through the Star Network. Her thoughts carried images, data, strategic information. Void fleet movement detected. Martinez communicated. They accelerate approach vectors, changing Earth trajectory, confirmed ETA 3 days. Alaric received the information through the shared consciousness, his expression darkening. "Sooner than we expected," he said. "They must sense our preparations. We need to coordinate with Earth governments." Lily decided, turning to Alaric. "We need to combine Elseri knowledge with human technology, with Star Children abilities. The 3 species working as one." The Elseri commander nodded. "I have already begun discussions with your world leaders through intermediaries. They resist, of course, suspicious of our intentions, but the evidence of the void threat is undeniable." Through the Star Network, Lily sensed conflict, disagreement among human factions. Some nations prepared for war, others sought negotiation with the void. Still others looked to the Elseri with distrust, questioning their motives in creating humanity. Typical Lily thought with a mixture of frustration and affection. Even facing extinction, humans remained diverse in their responses, independent in their thinking. It was their greatest strength and greatest weakness. She reached out through the network, addressing the awakened Star Children, directly uniting their consciousness, focusing their purpose. "We stand at the precipice," she communicated. "The void comes in force to erase all we are, all we might become. They fear our potential. They fear what humanity represents, not just a weapon against them, but a new form of existence, one that combines individual creativity with collective power." The network resonated with her words, minds uniting in common purpose. 300 awakened humans, their abilities diverse, their perspectives unique yet harmonized. All sensing the approaching threat, all preparing in their own ways. "We return to Earth," Lily announced to Valeria and Al.